There were many sacrifices and many contributions made by the Americans of Japanese ancestry who served in the U.S. Armed Forces during World War II. The Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii would like to recognize organizations that honor the legacy of the Nisei veterans' courage and their fight for equality.
The Nisei Veterans Legacy was established officially in 2012. The founding members were primarily the descendants of the 100, the 442, MIS, and 1399. It was an attempt to bring together the 4 veteran clubs during a time of transition where the veterans were getting older and passing on the torch to their sons and daughters. We have several permanent exhibits currently. One is at the Daniel K. Inouye International Airport. 3 million visitors a year pass by the exhibit. For me, the relevance is that I am the son of a 442 veteran. It is important for future generations to understand how the Nisei returned to Hawaii after the war and helped to change and shape the islands as we know it today.
The mission of the Nisei Veterans Memorial Center is to inspire people to find the hero in themselves through the legacy of the Nisei veterans. The Maui sons and daughters of the Nisei veterans and a group of veterans conceptualized the idea and really birthed the idea back in 1981. So the Nisei Veterans Memorial Center is home to our education center as well as an extensive archives of over 200 special collections of Maui's Nisei soldiers. And on our campus upstairs, we are also home to the Maui Adult Daycare Center and Concha Preschool. So I think it's really one of Maui's only intergenerational centers. And while our name is Nisei Veterans Memorial Center and we definitely focus on our Nisei veterans, if you look at it, these are stories for all generations spanning all ethnicities and gender and ages. And now more than ever, we need to share these stories of these men and, again, their families and what they sacrificed for all of us.
Over the last 3 decades, the Go for Broke National Education Center has been involved in curriculum development, teacher training, traveling exhibitions in order to tell the story. Most recently, we've created our own permanent exhibit that's located in downtown Los Angeles in the Little Tokyo district. But through these different projects, through these different initiatives, these are different ways that we can reach out to people, tell the story, and demonstrate the relevance to today's issues. Courage and Compassion is a very compelling traveling exhibit that is traveling across the nation. At this point, it's scheduled to go to 10 different cities and to tell the story of World War II and what happened to our Japanese American community during that time. It opened earlier this year in Salem, Oregon, and of course it then traveled to Honolulu. There is a portion of the exhibition that the local city gets to tell its local story, gets to tell what it did in particular to reach out and demonstrate courage and compassion with Japanese Americans or towards Japanese Americans. We look at the JCCH as a sister organization that does what we do, tell the story across the nation, across the world, to people who, one, already know the story and want to know more, but also to people who've never heard the story.
The Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii is very proud to honor the Nisei Veterans Legacy, Nisei Veterans Memorial Center, and the Go for Broke National Education Center for their work to preserve the history of the Nisei soldiers, to promote and perpetuate their legacy, and to share their stories for future generations. Their work is similar to what we try to do at the Japanese Cultural Center, which is to honor our heritage, remember those who came before us and those who made sacrifices so that we may thrive and survive.
On behalf of the Nisei Veterans Legacy Organization, it is with great pleasure that I accept this award. We are sincerely grateful to the JCCH for this recognition and great honor. This award is very meaningful to us not only because it recognizes our work, but especially because it shows there is an increased awareness of our mission within the community. Mike Masuoka, who served as a staff sergeant in the 442, once said, "I'm proud that I'm an American of Japanese ancestry. I believe in this nation's institutions, ideals, and traditions. I glory in our heritage. I boast of our history. I trust in our future." And again, thank you very much for recognizing the Nisei Veterans' legacy.
It is such an honor to be recognized this evening by the Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii and to be in the company of such amazing individuals who are doing and have done so much for our community. You know, back in 1952, the men of the 100th Battalion were at a meeting at their clubhouse, and they chose as their motto, continuing service. And I suspect that everybody in the room this evening has that same motto of continuing service to make sure that we're doing our best to give back to the community. So we at the Nisei Veterans Memorial Center want to make sure that we're doing our part to stand up to that motto of continuing service by giving back to our community. On behalf of the Nisei Veterans Memorial Center Board and our staff, we would like to say, どうもありがとうございました。これからもよろしくお願いいたします。Thank you very, very much. We are honored.
On behalf of the board, the staff, the volunteers, and the entire Go for Broke National Education Center community, we'd like to thank the Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii for this prestigious award. This award recognizes the work that we do in preserving and keeping the legacy of our Nisei veterans of World War II. They fought for a place at the American table of citizenship. More importantly, they fought to preserve America's promise, the promise that in this nation, no one is to be judged by the color of their skin, the nation of their origin, or the God whom they choose to worship. Thank you, JCCH, for supporting us in the work that we do.